Sha'Carri Richardson's shocking 100m slide. Gold medal fire green card controversy won't hold her back. Sha'Carri Jackson with a very nice start. Sha'Carri Richardson has some work to do. Needs to be in the top 3. And Richardson delivered. The 100-meter world champion showed signs of her old self in the 100m heat of the Tokyo World Championships on day 1. Despite Sha'Carri Jackson taking an early lead into the race, Richardson accelerated into the final few meters of the race and took the win in 11.033 seconds, 100th of a second ahead of Jackson and the new season best for the athlete. But did that signal the end of her troubles? Not quite. Sha'Carri Richardson was slow, not just compared to her standard, but slower than other athletes as well. Julian Alfred recorded 10.93s. Daryl Neita ran a season best of 10.94s. Melissa Jefferson Wooden clocked 10.99s. Even Tina Clayton was faster by 200 ths of a second, clocking 11.01s. In the semifinals on day 2, things went more south for her as she almost hit the ground. It started with a false start in the semifinal heat 1. When the gun went off, Sha'Carri twitched and so did Daryl N.A. in the lane next to her. This created uncertainty about whether things would go wrong right before starting. But fortunately, Sha'Carri was given the green card. But this wasn't the end of her troubles. When the race restarted, Sha'Carri's pace was dictated by an early stumble, just like at the U.S. Olympic trials last year. As she sprinted out of lane 6, the commentator announced, "They get away cleanly this time," but Richardson really stumbled out of the blocks. However, Sha'Carri regained her stride after the stumble and pushed through in the second half of the race. By then, Marie-José Toulouse-Smith cleared ahead of the pack with 10.94s, followed by Sha'Carri Jackson in 10.97s. Yet, Sha'Carri Richardson made it third in 11.0, with a new season's best, but with only the top 2 finishes qualifying for the final from every heat. This kept a worried Sha'Carri waiting on the sidelines for a non-automatic qualification throughout the rest of the 2 semifinal rounds. Fortunately, things worked out. After all the semifinal heats, Richardson had the 7th fastest time, making her way into the final. Her training partner, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, was dominating the ranks with 10.73, followed by Julian Alfred in 10.90. The third fastest woman of the semifinals was Marie-José Toulouse-Smith in 10.94s. The 200-meter world champion was the 4th one with her sub-11, and below her was her compatriot enjoying her final run, Shalane Fraser-Pryce, clocking the same time as Sha'Carri below her. Though this has created an interesting scenario for Richardson 2023 recreated for Sha'Carri Richardson. In a bizarre twist Sha'Carri faced in Tokyo, something that had exactly happened to her in Budapest too in the 2023 World Championships. Sha'Carri Richardson moved smoothly through the opening round of the women's 100-meter, winning her heat in 10.92 seconds. The semifinal stage, though, brought far fiercer competition. She ran a sharp 10.84 seconds but crossed the line third behind Sha'Carri Jackson and Marie-José Toulouse, who both clocked 10.79 seconds to secure the automatic qualifying spots. With only the top 2 guaranteed to place in the final, Richardson had no choice but to wait and see if her time would be enough to advance as one of the fastest non-automatic qualifiers. It was her 10.84 that earned her a spot in the final, though it placed her in the far outside lane 9, traditionally seen as a disadvantage. And on Sunday at the Tokyo Worlds, the exact same thing happened. Coincidentally, it were the same runners, Sha'Carri and Toulouse-Smith, who once again pushed Richardson into third place in the semis. However, one thing that couldn't be replicated from Budapest was her win in the 100m finals. In Budapest, Sha'Carri Richardson clocked a career best and her only sub 10.70 in the 100m to this date to win the 100-meter world title in a historic 10.65 seconds, sealing her position as the 5th fastest woman on the planet. Alas, this year she finished a distant 5th and lost it all. The stadium lights burned bright over Tokyo, yet the spotlight seemed heavier on one figure, Sha'Carri Richardson, known for her fiery hair, unapologetic confidence, and electric speed. She was supposed to glide through her 100-meter heat with trademark ease. But this time, the track had other plans. When the gun cracked through the air, Sha'Carri didn't burst forward like a bullet. Instead, she hesitated a fraction late. The stumble, jolting the crowd and planting whispers in every corner of the arena. High, powerful strides came, but not with the seamless rhythm the world expected. For every meter, her rivals pressed closer, sensing vulnerability, daring to believe they could edge the woman who usually ran as though chased by destiny itself. By the halfway mark, the mammoth grew into roars. Sha'Carri's shoulders tensed, her face tightened, and for once she looked more human than superhero. Yet in that flicker of humanity came the resilience that had defined a chaotic career. Inch by inch, she clawed her way forward, her arms cutting the air like daggers. The finish line loomed, and somehow she scraped through 3rd place, barely advancing. Not a triumph, but survival. The stumble was more than physical. Days before the race, the drama swirling around her had threatened to derail her focus completely. A paperwork controversy, her long-awaited green card drama, as media outlets called it, had dominated headlines. Though born American, the bureaucratic storm about her international clearances and eligibility consumed her days, dragging her into meetings, interviews, and distractions instead of training. With a clear mind, some rivals called it noise. Sha'Carri called it sabotage. And yet here she was, flawed, shaken, but not defeated. Reporters swarmed her as she walked off the track, sweat dripping down her forehead. Her expression caught between relief and frustration. "A stumble doesn't define me," she said sharply. "Life throws hurdles even in the 100m. The important thing is I'm still standing and I'm still running." Her words rippled across social media, sparking debates. Was she losing her edge, or was this the fire before the blaze? Critics pointed to her inconsistency, her habit of letting off-track controversies spill onto the lanes. Supporters counter that Shah had always thrived in chaos, that she was the athlete who rose from suspension, criticism, and doubt to once again stand on the world stage. In the quiet moments, after the cameras turned away, Sha'Carri sat alone in the warm-up area, the stumble replayed in her mind like a cruel highlight reel. She clenched her fists, whispering to herself, "Tomorrow, no mistakes. Tomorrow, I remind them who I am." Because Sha'Carri Richardson is not just a sprinter. She is a storm. And though storms may falter, they always return with thunder. The 100-meter semifinal awaited. The world watched. And Sha'Carri, bruised but unbroken, was ready to turn her stumble into a statement. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.